I don't think any of our aid that goes to Israel to support our greatest ally, arguably maybe in the world, to defeat Hamas and Iran and Russia, and probably North Korea's in there and China too, with them and helping Hamas. We shouldn't be spending a dime on humanitarian aid. It should be like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Get it over quick.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the GOP House Rep from Michigan, Tim Walbeg, saying that Gaza should be handled like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Get it over with quick. Now, there's a lot I want to say about that particular statement, but first things first. Sir, really? Don't you think that's a tad bit extreme of a reference to make Hiroshima and Nagasaki? You want to do that to Gaza? That is a little bit much in my humble opinion. And I know most of you guys get the reference, but in case you don't, maybe you're just not familiar with the situation or the history, let's go back. World War II. Now, after Japan did quite a few things like what they were doing in China, I'm not going to say what it was called because YouTube being YouTube, and also Imperial Japan in general, plus Pearl Harbor being the final straw, the U.S. hit not one, but two Japanese cities with nuclear bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing hundreds of thousands of people all at once, just like that. It was a pretty extreme thing. It was a serious thing that has not been done since. So to say you want to go to that level with Gaza is way too much in my humble opinion. Now, before I go any further, let's play the full clip. I'm not going to take him out of context. I'll play the entire thing, and I'll tell you what his explanation for his comments were. Now, you see the headline here. GOP Rep Tim Walbeg suggests Gaza should be handled like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And the subhead says the Michigan congressman said his comments were intended to convey his desire for Israel and Ukraine to swiftly end their wars without putting American troops in harm's way. All right, so that's what he said. That's his response. Let's hear the full comments recorded on audio. Then we're going to get to a little bit more about what's happening over there in that part of the world. If you want to hear it in full without my commentary, of course, link as always will be in the description if you're on IG. Visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I don't think any of our aid that goes to Israel to support our greatest ally, arguably maybe in the world, to defeat Hamas and Iran and Russia, and probably North Korea's in there and China too, with them and helping Hamas. We shouldn't be spending a dime on humanitarian aid. It should be like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Get it over quick. The same should be in Ukraine. Defeat Putin quick. Instead of 80% of our funding for Ukraine being used for humanitarian purposes, it should be 80%, 100% to wipe out Russian forces, if that's what we want to do.
So there we have it. That's the full comments right there, recorded on audio. I don't know who was recording it, if they had permission or what's going on, but that's what he said. Now, there's a whole lot of warmongering language right there talking about China and Russia and North Korea and all type of stuff. I mean, I'm getting shades of Dick Cheney. Shout out to him and the warmongers who think the same way that he did. Not really a fan of that kind of stuff at all. What do you guys think before I continue? You think that you agree with his comments, disagree? Me personally, look, I don't think it really matters where you align on the whole Gaza, Israel thing. I think at a certain point, you got to be a humanitarian. That's just my humble opinion. I mean, look at what's happening right here. Look at Gaza. I mean, at a certain point, who are you even fighting? Who are you fighting? What is going on? Okay, I don't really get it. I can't read Arabic. If you guys can read it, y'all let me know what that says in the comments. But that could be the death toll. I don't know what that is. But look at it. I mean, we're talking about just piles of rubble. And ultimately, when it's completely destroyed, what's the next course of action? For the Israelis to take it over and make it part of greater Israel rather than this little apartheid type place for the so-called Palestinians. Some say there's no place called Palestine. Well, what is Gaza? Why is it not integrated with the rest of Israel? What is it exactly? You see? So that's what's going on right there. It's pretty rough out there in that part of the world. I'm going to play this right here. Some are going to get offended, and it's okay because we can have different points of view, but I want you guys to hear this.
The Israelis are known for being the most ardent liars. They lie about everything. I have not heard.
Now, can I say that the Israeli government lies without being called an anti-Semite? Can I do that? I say the American government lies all the time. The Biden administration, the FBI, the CIA, the FDA, all alphabet letter they all lie to us all the time. Anthony Fauci got on television and lied. If I could say my own government lies all the time, 24/7 to us as the American people, why can't I say a foreign government lies without being called an anti-Semite? I don't understand. I'm not speaking about the Jays or any other group over there specifically. I'm talking about the government of that place. That's all I'm referring to. But let's keep on going.
Any report of fighters inside Shifa hospital. And don't forget, this is the second siege of Shifa. When they invaded Shifa the first time, they had no proof of any military installations.
Now, they're talking about the hospitals because there's been quite a few raids of hospitals. Remember that one thing with the hospital? They say, oh, no, we didn't do it. That was for PR purposes. They've raided many hospitals before that and after that. And they've raided some of the same hospitals more than once with patients and everything inside.
They didn't find anything. They repeat their lies because they didn't need these lies to attack all the other hospitals in Gaza. You know, out of the 35 hospitals, almost every one of them have been attacked, even without the excuse of being a military command center. If the goal was to fight down some 100 resistance fighters, Palestinians, why burn the hospital? Why burn this billion-value, incredibly important institution for the civilian population in Gaza? One thing which is, greatly overlooked by the media is that Israel is never held accountable and never has to pay war compensation. This absolutely endless impunity for Israel through 75 years has made them ravage and destroy as much as they like without ever being held accountable.
So that's what's happening over there with the hospitals. Okay, now I have one more video because there was a little mistake, a little oopsie. An Israeli strike killed 8 workers. Oh, sorry about that, unintentional. Let's just play some of this on CBS.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a strike in which 7 aid workers were killed in Gaza yesterday was, quote, unintended. The World Central Kitchen says the strike hit their convoy in central Gaza Monday after the group delivered more than 100 tons of food. Now,
what I want to ask is, how was a convoy of aid workers hit accidentally? How does that really happen? I don't really know.
CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams has more on this from Israel. But first, we want to warn you, this report contains some graphic images.
Good morning. World Central Kitchen said it was an Israeli airstrike that killed 7 of its team members as they were traveling in a convoy in Gaza yesterday. The non-profit said that among the dead are a dual US-Canadian citizen, as well as others from Europe and Australia.
Graphic video appears to show the remains of some of the aid workers, one still wearing a bulletproof vest. They were killed as they tried to get food to desperate Palestinians. One vehicle seems to have taken a direct hit.
Hey, this is Zomi and Chef Olivier. We're at the Deir Balach kitchen.
One of those confirmed dead is an Australian woman, Zomi Frankham. The Australian government's demanding accountability from Israel.
This is a human tragedy that should never have occurred. That is completely unacceptable.
World Central Kitchen was founded by Jose Andres, the award-winning Spanish-American chef, and feeds the hungry everywhere from the US to Ukraine, where one of its kitchens was hit by a Russian missile 2 years ago.
We need them to win this war because we need to be feeding the world.
The Israeli government needs to stop this indiscriminate killing, Andres posted on social media.
Is he an anti-Semite? I'm just trying to figure out, is he an anti-Semite? Talking about the government specifically, not Jewish people. Because it's not even about the people. It's not even about whether you're Jewish or you're Arab, Muslim, whatever. It's about the government. That's all.
Last night, and stop using food as a weapon. Funded by donations, his charity's been shipping hundreds of tons of food into the Gaza Strip, even building a makeshift pier and then distributing the aid by truck. Israel's military has been cooperating with World Central Kitchen and says it's investigating what happened.
We also express sincere sorrow to our allied nations who have been doing and continue to do so much.
There was apparently no accident in an airstrike on a building used by Iran's embassy in Damascus yesterday. Iran's blaming Israel and says 7 members of its Revolutionary Guards were killed, including a senior commander.
Well, there's more about the different things that are happening as far as this conflict is concerned, where you just accidentally hit a convoy. Now, I was reading one of the comments, and they said that the convoy got hit like 3 times in a row. Like, it was different strikes. It wasn't just one strike. There was 3. So how does that really happen? It seems like it's intentional, but hey, what do I know? What do I know? All I know is at a certain point, you can't just do whatever you want to do. If it was the U.S., I'd say the same thing. We can't just drone strike as a U.S. We can't just drone strike families, taking out innocent people, be like, oops, sorry. Nobody wants to hear, I'm sorry, when the family member is out here deceased for no reason. Nobody wants to hear that. At a certain point, you got to have some accountability. And it can't just be shielded with, oh, you're being anti-Semitic for wanting accountability of a government. That's unacceptable. It's not okay. And I don't think, as I close, it's okay to say you want to do Hiroshima and Nagasaki to innocent people. I'm sorry. I just don't really see it. I'm not a warmonger. I don't care where you are, what color you are. I'm not for it, which is a big part of the reason why I voted for Trump, because under Trump, all this war all over the world wasn't happening. I'm not a warmonger. I'm not a fan of it. The U.S. especially shouldn't be involved. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what the GOP rep from Michigan said? Do you agree? Just go ahead and throw a nuke on all these innocent people just because we want to help Israel win their battle? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, that kind of comment is crazy. It's unacceptable. And I don't think that anyone should be in favor of promoting that kind of violence. We should all be for peace. I mean, that's me. I'm a peaceful person, and I most certainly don't think that we should be involved as the U.S. over in foreign conflicts. Hey, they want to fight. They want to do their thing. That's on them. Let them handle that. Why must we be involved as a U.S.? Not a fan. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.